ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಗೌರಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಣೇಶ ಚತುರ್ಥಿದು ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. I hope everybody had a very nice festivities. Is delighted to welcome every one of you for our webinar series, which we have been doing it on a monthly basis. And today we have a fantastic speaker, Dr. Yuvraj Lingappa. He is a motivational speaker and also a sports medicine coach. He has spent a significant amount of time in the career, and he has motivated the cricket team also over there to basically win after many years. And today he is there to speak to us on digital India, artificial intelligence, and the future. And I think the way in which dentistry has progressed in the last 2 decades, we are at a time when we have to take a big leap, is what we have to say. And our Honorable Prime Minister has been very dynamic in taking that step of making digital India into the next level. And that has put India into the real big map. Today, the most important thing is data. And once you have data, you can actually analyze that. We, in a very small way, I still remember when I was in England, we used to do our departmental audits. And that used to be actually once a month, we used to have the clinical audit. And we used to see where the pitfalls were, where we could actually improve and take corrective measures, which could actually help us in improving our surgical skills and reduce the amount of complications. That we had to physically do. And today, with the computer and the digital world, which has completely changed the way in which we're practicing medicine and dentistry, I think we need to basically analyze the data. And that is where this artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to help and make the younger generations to improve their clinical skills, to make the patient outcomes into a better way. And that is where we have some real exciting things for the future. And we are delighted to have a very important speaker today to address us, Dr. Yuvraj Lingappa. He has been a motivational coach. He has transformed lives of so many people. And we are really delighted that he is coming and addressing us at Sasomi. Dr. Yuvraj, welcome to this meet. And we are really looking forward to have a very fruitful evening today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. Girish.
Sir,
Hello to Dr. Nagesh, sir.
Can you add
Hello to Dr. Joshi, and konnichiwa to Dr. Srilata, and hello to all the executive committee members. 1 trillion USD is available by 2035 to India. That is 70 lakhs crores, not 70 crores, 70 lakhs crores available to India by 2035, thanks to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is our friend, and it is going to help India and all the countries in many ways. Artificial intelligence was found out by Mr. John McCarthy, a famous computer scientist, in 1955. He announced it in 1956 in the Dartmouth Conference. He is the father of artificial intelligence. It has got few types. One is weak artificial intelligence, what we see every day in our lifetime, like the driverless cars, etc., which is less intelligent than a human being. And we have strong intelligence, that is intelligence as equal to human being. And we have super intelligent, where the machines are more intelligent than human beings. In simple words, artificial intelligence is intelligence of the machines programmed by human beings. It is as simple as that. The words may sound high, but it is a very simple methodology. The benefits are enormous. The beauty of artificial intelligence is it helps in every industry in the world to every person in the world. You take health industry or transport industry, agriculture industry, every industry it is helping. For example, we will take the health industry, and I'm aware that today many dental surgeons are watching our program from India and Japan. I am very thankful to you, all of you sirs and madams, for your great oral care for all the citizens. Particularly in dentistry, if you take, it is really a great opportunity for the dentists. It not only increases their efficiency, it makes the patients very comfortable. For example, nowadays we have smart toothbrush. That is, many years ago we had electric toothbrushes. Nowadays we have smart toothbrushes, that is artificial intelligence in toothbrushes. It's a wonderful thing. These toothbrushes are again electric toothbrushes, but they have sensors, they are connected to your mobiles. So as you brush, it tells you if you are brushing correctly. It tells you if you are taking care of the gums correctly. It tells you what is the duration, and it sends you the report also, a daily report, a weekly report. The beauty is it takes images of your dental caries at the earliest stage. If there is any hairline crack, it takes the pictures, it sends photos to your dentist, so he can give you appointment at the earliest. Similarly, we have voice commanding dental chairs. No need of adjustments, just with your simple voices, you have dental chairs which can be adjusted. So the patients are happy, they are satisfied. Right from first minute, they are happy. Not only dentistry, in every field in the health, it is helping. Particularly now, the COVID-19 infection, it has helped a lot. For example, the telemedicine has become part and parcel of this COVID-19 infection control. The artificial intelligence has helped us to convey the knowledge from the expert doctors to any remote area in the world. Plus, it is able to identify the COVID infection at the earliest. It can identify in seconds. And telemedicine is playing a major role in not only in controlling the infection, it is also spreading the knowledge. Like the experts, they convey the message not only to the doctors and the other medical staffs, they also convey the message to patients also. In many places, there may be less information available regarding the COVID, but telemedicine, thanks to artificial intelligence, it has conveyed the message at the right time in the right place. The major benefit of artificial intelligence is the robots. Robots is really a God's gift to humans. For example, the robots can be used in almost every industry, starting from military to the society users. In military, it can be used as, the robots are used as soldiers also. And robots are used in day-to-day life in our society as firefighters. So we save so many lives by using the robots. And robots can visit any places which is dangerous to human beings. Like when there is a natural disaster, it can visit. When there is a hurricane and other places, it can visit where there is the danger of human lives. Recently, robots had a great role to play in the pandemic. We saw in so many news that robots were used to deliver medicines to COVID patients. It comes, it gives you medicines, it gives food to the COVID patients because robots cannot get infection. Robots will become part and parcel of our life. For example, if we take Japan, then the famous stores in Japan, the famous company which is having almost 16,000 stores, they have plans to put robot in every store now. Because as soon as the patient comes, the robot gives sanitizer. So the people are very happy that they are taken care of. The robots have a great role to play in every aspect of life. And all of you would have heard about Sophia. Sophia is the first humanoid robot in the world. It was invented about 4 years ago. Sophia is so famous, it's appearing on the cover pages of all the magazines. Sophia is giving speeches in science conferences, and Sophia has even given speech in United Nations. Sophia is so famous, Sophia has been made citizen of Saudi Arabia. So the interest of robots have increased in Saudi Arabia. It is so famous. Now Sophia has a baby sister, a tiny sister of 14 inches height. This robot helps children in coding, etc. So robots is playing a great role thanks to artificial intelligence. The next great contribution of artificial intelligence is in the transport system. Thanks to genius Elon Musk, we are going to have driverless cars all over the world. By next year, we'll be having almost 1 million driverless cars all over the world. The beauty of driverless cars, which has artificial intelligence, is accidents are reduced by 90%. I wish all of us are using driverless cars so that we can avoid accidents. Not only in the cars, the artificial intelligence is helping the drivers to the maximum extent. Because as he's driving, it takes the facial features of the driver. It tells if he's drowsy or sleepy, and it warns him. When he's near any difficult roads, which is prone for accident, it informs him that it's going to be a dangerous road. It avoids accidents. So artificial intelligence is used for both prevention of accidents and saving the lives. Not only the drivers, even the passengers are helped because of artificial intelligence. It informs the passengers if the driver is under the influence of alcohol. The way he types inside his vehicle, the way he walks, the artificial intelligence can make out if he is under the influence of alcohol. It does not allow him to drive. So artificial intelligence has a great role to play in transport department, because unfortunately we have 1.5 lakhs road accidents per year in India. This can be reduced drastically if we use artificial intelligence during the transport systems. Another great benefit of artificial intelligence is the drones. You will see drones are used in multiple ways these days, starting from the health department to every department is used. Recently, it was used in many parts in Africa where the drones can reach any place because of the road conditions and mountainous and remote places. The drones are able to reach any remote place in Africa, supplying them food and medicines. What takes 1 hour in the road takes only 10 minutes by drone because it goes in a straight line. And drones will be part and parcel of our life very soon. Just like we are having mobile phones, all of us will be having drones very soon. The reason is, for example, I am in the hospital. The drone is going to help me to bring the medicines from the pharmacy to my room. I don't have to go to the pharmacy. And drone is used for transporting anything and everything now. It can transport blood, it can transport medicines, vaccines where the cold chain is maintained. Recently, a kidney was sent via drone in time for the renal transplant. And very soon, you will see humans also in the drones. The research is going on. It's in the final stages. Recently, the Google CEO, Mr. Sundar Pichai, he was on a video conference. He told 2 noble ideas about artificial intelligence. If it happens, it's a real great benefit to the humans. Number 1, he said, Google is in the final stages of discovery. With eye scan, we can predict if the person will get cardiovascular accident within 5 years. Once it comes, it is a great non-invasive procedure which will help many people in the world. And we can control the heart diseases also. The second one, more interesting than the first one, because with artificial intelligence, Google will tell if a person will get any serious illness in the next 24 hours. For example, now it is 5 p.m. in India. I contact my artificial intelligence friend and it tells me I will get so-and-so disease within 24 hours before 5 p.m. on Monday. So I can tell my doctor, Doc, I'm going to get this disease. Can I get admitted, please? You will say, please get admitted. And I can get admitted. In case I have any plans for watching any match tomorrow, T20 match or any match, I can postpone it, go and get admitted, return, and then watch the match. I hope it comes very soon and it will be a great benefit to the humans. Artificial intelligence is playing an excellent role in education. In Japan, they have a novel idea. They have about 500,000 university students. They are going to train all the 500,000 university students with artificial intelligence program. That is excellent. Because whoever is good in artificial intelligence now will rule the world tomorrow. In education, artificial intelligence is very interesting in every age group. For example, if you take children, artificial intelligence will map the facial features of the children and tell if the child is interested, is the child feeling boring, if the child is understanding, and it can inform the teacher. So the teacher will adjust his level of teaching. Not only that, artificial intelligence can help depending on the pace of the child, depending on the learning ability of the child. If there is any learning disabilities also, artificial intelligence can make out. So artificial intelligence has come to stay with us. Some people may feel artificial intelligence is not good, or I am not interested in artificial intelligence. I want to give a gentle reminder to them. Already for the last 30 years, we have been using artificial intelligence. Only thing we have not named it openly like we are doing now. For example, our emails, artificial intelligence. The email goes to Google. In the Gmail, it segregates spam or promotion or everything. The mobile banking is artificial intelligence. It saves so much time for us. So on every stage in our life, on every day-to-day activities of our life, we are using artificial intelligence. The social media is artificial intelligence. So friends, artificial intelligence is here to stay. Artificial intelligence is part and parcel of our life now. Few more words about the robots which I mentioned earlier. Some of the world leaders are having robots as the personal bodyguards with 360 cameras and 100 guns. That is the nature of the robots now. People believe so much, and the benefits are tremendous in every aspect of life. The artificial intelligence has a great role to play in the welfare of the community. For example, the artificial intelligence tells people all the great benefits of so many things, because artificial intelligence is nothing but the program done by the humans on the machines. As I mentioned earlier, in the weak artificial intelligence or narrow artificial intelligence, we feed the machine only few. The intelligence will be less than the humans in the narrow intelligence. That is why in the weak intelligence is present now. Whatever things around us is weak intelligence. The day we get the machines become as intelligent as humans, that's called general intelligence. People are worried. In the super intelligence, when the machines will become more intelligent than humans, people are really worried what will happen. Even recently, Jeff Bezos, the richest man on the planet Earth, said only when the lethal autonomous weapons become part and parcel of machines, it is dangerous. But that day is far away. Nothing to worry about that. Artificial intelligence has come to help us in every way which is possible. There are many views about artificial intelligence, that artificial intelligence will reduce the jobs, will reduce the livelihood. It is not so. Because when televisions came 40 years ago, they said film theaters will no longer be there. Nothing happened. Both survived. So similarly, artificial intelligence, there may be loss of some jobs, but artificial intelligence will compensate that and get more jobs. For example, right now we have more than 5,000 experts of artificial intelligence all over the world. That is a great sign that we are going in the right path. So there is nothing to feel bad about artificial intelligence. Only the name sounds fancy, but it's very simple. All of you are familiar about the IBM Watson. IBM Watson is so powerful. Even if you feed 500 million files, not 500 files, 500 million files, it can read in 15 seconds. That is the speed of the artificial intelligence. Remember, still we are in the weak artificial intelligence. We are not even come to the strong artificial intelligence, which is called general intelligence. Even the weak artificial intelligence is creating so many good things. And an interesting example is in 1996, the world champion Garry Kasparov was defeated by a computer, Deep Blue computer. How it could defeat a world champion? Because Kasparov has to use only his mind, whereas Deep Blue computer, it had 200 million moves in 1 second. So it was able to defeat the world champion. Artificial intelligence has come to stay with us. It will help us. It is helping every citizen in every way possible. Artificial intelligence is increasing the productivity in our society. It is helping us to become more aware of the things around. So with these words, Dr. Joshi will take over.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us with your orientational lecture on artificial intelligence. The forum is open for discussion now. Any comments from Girish Rao sir or others on the forum is welcome now.
Yeah, it was overall covering the applications of artificial intelligence. But to create artificial intelligence, we had to use our natural intelligence anyway. that's the comment. Yeah, artificial intelligence, sometimes people get scared of it, but nothing to get scared of it. It is here only to make our life easy. The simplest thing is what we're talking about is a smartphone, which everybody is using and everybody is watching on that. It has made life so simple, but at the same time, we have lost our intelligence in a way that we don't remember any of the names, numbers. So how to use it, and it has both sides of the thing, but it is there to only help us make our life much more simpler, easier, and more scientific approach to anything we do. Thanks, sir, for your brief presentation on this, and we'll look forward to see applications in real life soon. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Bringing out questions from the viewers. There is a person by name Gopinath. Question is, what is the impact of artificial intelligence on our society?
Yeah, there's great impact on the societies because it is helping people in every category of life. It is helping the children in education. It is helping the adults in their job, in increasing their proficiency. It is helping the elders to take care. For example, the robots, artificial intelligence, the robots can take care of the elders, particularly Alzheimer's disease. It informs the patient what time to take the tablet, when to eat, where is the food. It even feeds the elderly person. So the elderly care is excellent because of the artificial intelligence. So it is helping the society in many, many ways like this.
Specifically, when it comes to elders, people who have emotions, have ups and downs in their moods and whims and fancies, which robots don't have. So they'll be much more sincere servants and sincere people to serve rather than a normal human being, probably.
Yes, sir. You are right, sir. And the advantage of robots is they don't get tired. We get tired after 3 or 4 hours in anything we do.
And moods don't change.
Yes, sir. They work 24 hours a day. They are active 24 hours a day. And they're, as you said, they're very good servants. What we feed, they will do. And since they don't get tired and there is no bias among them, and they don't get infection also, so we can use it to treat any patient. We can use robots.
To make a few things, a few applications, what you said, simple for others to understand, they can see the movie Robo or Robo 1 or Robo 2, where it works as a fireman to going into the fire and survive, people, this thing. So like that, a lot of these applications are wonderful. Yeah, we have to make it practical. And there is also scary movies on robots where they become more intelligent than humans and becomes clone themselves and becoming bigger. So that's also the area to really look at.
Yes, doctor. What you mentioned is true. Particularly the Robo film, which superstar acted, is famous in Dr. Srilata's place also in Japan. So we saw all the aspects of Robo in that film. It was wonderful.
Okay. Sir, that brings us to the next question. Can drones or robots commit mistake? Then who is responsible? Mr. Damodar Rao has asked this question. Can we talk on it for a while now?
Yes, sir. They're unlikely to do mistakes because the humans, we feed the robo what to do. That's all, sir. In a weak artificial intelligence, we feed the machine what all we know, what are the good things. So please remember, teaching a robo is like educating a child. We have to educate the child what is good for them. Same way, we teach the robo, we feed the machines only good things, only what is useful for us. That's why we will not be feeding the machines with about lethal weapons. We will not be feeding. Only about good things about education, health, and other things we'll be feeding. So mistakes unlikely to happen in machines because it is we humans, we feed what we feel is correct, what is needed for our welfare.
Then there is a question on what is your view on robotics.
Thank you, Dr. Yuvraj.
Thank you, sir.
So go ahead, sir.
Sorry,
Yeah, sorry, Joshi.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Yuvraj, for this wonderful overview on what artificial intelligence is. You've really opened a lot of doors for us to start exploring in our area. I mean, when Da Vinci was introduced into the surgical specialty, people were excited, but that took a lot of learning experience. For people to basically do remote surgeries, it was a challenge. And today, a lot of hospitals across the globe has accepted that, and I think it's the norm. In fact, in Bangalore itself, we have probably 3 or 4 hospitals which have got Da Vinci. And I think even in dentistry, it's coming in a very big way. Today you have robots, I think one in China and one in Germany, they have actually used for placement of dental implants too, in a very, very precise way. It's taken us years and years for us to gain that experience. But I think for a novice surgeon today, newer technologies make a huge difference. And when you have robot assisted kind of surgeries, it makes a big, big difference for us to basically enhance the surgical skills and also reduce the amount of complications. The biggest worry is the complications which can happen in very, very challenging cases. So I think that is the way in which we need to have a blend of both our own human surgical skills and also the technology which we can use from so much of machine learning and artificial intelligence which is available today, which can really have a huge benefit to our patients. My question to you is, I know this is a very logical way in which we are basically doing step by step, but I think when we're doing a surgical procedure or if we're doing any treatment, there is a huge emotional kind of work also involved in that, and that is where humans score a lot more on when you talk about machine doing it. How do you think the way in which progresses in terms of the emotion and humane approach which we need to get into the machines? What is your comments on that?
Yes, sir. Now the research shows shortly there will be emotions. For example, if you take Sophia, the first humanoid robot, Sophia can talk, can answer your questions, and can walk also. But the emotional aspect in the robo is under research, sir. Very soon, I think they'll be getting it.
Sure. Thank you.
Nagesh sir wants to ask some question. Sir, please unmute your audio.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Yuvraj, I have a question. Can the artificial intelligence be used for disease mapping so that we can plan our programs on the prevention management of any disease, whether it is a non-communicable or communicable disease? Can we do it?
Yes, sir. Disease mapping is one of the great benefit of artificial intelligence. Already there's great research going on. As I mentioned earlier, more than 5,000 artificial intelligence experts. Many are working on this disease mapping. I think it will be done very soon, sir. And it's going to help us. Even the Google research, which I mentioned to you earlier, which will help us to know cardiovascular illness within 5 years. Everything comes under that, sir. I think very soon we'll be having that.
Thank you.
Anand sir.
Yes, sir. Wonderful presentation, Dr. Yuvraj. I have two questions for you. First is artificial intelligence promoting natural stupidity? I think it's commensurate with the question which Mr. Manjunath also asked. Are we limiting the exploration of the human brain itself by promoting artificial intelligence? That's the first question. Second one is there any statutory body for ethics in ethical kind of issues in artificial intelligence? Because there has to be some kind of limits to which artificial intelligence can grow, or some areas which specifically should be beneficial rather than replace some kind of jobs and things like that. Are there any ethical guidelines and ethical bodies which are there at this point in time?
Sir, can you please repeat your first question?
The first question is whether artificial intelligence is promoting natural stupidity. In the sense, there are so many aspects of the human brain which we do not explore just by taking for granted the artificial intelligence. As Mr. Manjunath said, it's whether it is memorizing the numbers or getting a direction, I mean, there are so many senses which we are losing as and when technology is coming in. That's why I meant to ask. Say, for example, uh, earlier physicians used to have some kind of intuition, the sixth sense about a disease and things like that, which is obviously you cannot quantify it, you cannot map it. Okay, it's just that is a sixth sense which a physician would have. Now today, any physician probably would just go on to a search engine and probably search out which is these are the symptoms and this, rather than seeing the patient. More of gadgetry is used for diagnosis sometimes. So that's why I mean to ask, artificial intelligence at some point in time promoting natural stupidity.
Sir, regarding the first question, the artificial intelligence, the one which is available right now all over the world is the weak or narrow intelligence, where we feed only what we would expect from the machine, sir. So I think beyond the beneficial things, we don't feed anything, as you rightly said, the stupidity things. So we feed the machines what we expect them to do, like how we teach our students what we expect them to do in the class or the exam. Same thing, we expect the machines to do 1, 2, 3, and we feed the machines only that information. And so since we feed the machines only what we need and what is beneficial to the society, I think beyond the beneficial things, nothing else is fed to the machines, sir. That is one. Second question you asked about the ethical bodies. Right now, there is no official body, sir. Right now. And since we are still in the weak intelligence or narrow intelligence, maybe when we come to the general intelligence, even recently, the genius Elon Musk was telling, we are not come to the stage of general intelligence. So nothing to worry. And right now, there is no ethical body, sir. So whatever we see around the world is only the narrow intelligence, only like driverless cars. What we need, we are feeding to the machine to get it back from them.
How is it useful in physiotherapy?
Well, it was audible, ma'am. I am putting it across again. Geeta ma'am wants to ask, is it useful in physiotherapy?
Yeah, you could hear also.
Definitely, Geeta madam, it's useful because it is useful to take care of the child. It's useful for take care of the elders when they are alone. So definitely it's useful for the physiotherapy also. But so far I have not come across any of the journals. It's a good idea, madam. I should tell it to the experts. I have not heard robots as physiotherapists, but I heard there are robots as music directors now. Just give the song, just give the nice poem, it will give you a nice song. What A.R. Rahman is doing, it will do now. Robo music directors there. Robo physiotherapy, I have not come across any latest article, madam. But it's a very good idea. It will serve the purpose because I know physiotherapy, sometimes they have to deal with 5, 10, 20 patients in a day. It will give them a break.
But I heard that it is there in Ambani Hospital in Bombay. Robots treat or do the physiotherapy for paralytic patients.
Okay. That's good because it helps the medical personnel as well as the patients.
Yes.
Okay, sir, that more or less brings us to the end of today's session. Before we wrap up with a vote of thanks, I want Yuvraj sir to speak his words.
Just like we are having driverless cars, we are going to have driverless planes also. Recently, Boeing did a research. They found out even in the long flights, the pilots use manual only for 7 minutes. After that, it is only autopilot. So the Boeing has the final stages of the research where driverless commercial planes are possible. It will be very soon. You'll be seeing that. How software wave was there 30 years ago. Now artificial intelligence wave is there. It has come to stay with us. Japan is land of the rising sun. Now it has become land of the rising robots. You see robots everywhere in Japan. Recently, I came to know they have a robot priest also in a Buddhist temple. Particularly in this pandemic, it is welcoming all the people inside there. Presently, Japan ranks 9th in the world in artificial intelligence. India ranks 18th in the world in artificial intelligence. I wish both India and Japan become world leaders. The reason being, in another 10 years, not long, only 10 years, 2030, artificial intelligence will provide us 13 trillion USD. So we can use that huge cash for creativity, for innovation, and many welfare schemes. The world needs more Albert Einstein, more Elon Musk. For example, in India, 80 crores Indians are less than 35 years. So it is our duty to train our youngsters with artificial intelligence. So we give them a better life and Earth becomes a better place to live. With these words, I like to conclude, and my sincere thanks to all the viewers